We are here at SDCCU Stadium, where there happens to be a football game between the Iowan Hawkeyes
People do sports here.
and yes,
Very important, very
and
sporty.
the USC Trojans. And being the nerd that I am, I've never been at a tailgate party. A lot of firsts, and this is a lot of fun. And so we're all out. Look how many people we have out here. This is like
We have at least 2 people here, which is amazing.
we have SD YangGang and we have an Oregon YangGang, right? PDX, and you're SD, right? So yeah, would you like to tell us your secrets about yanging?
Yeah, just pass out like a sticker and be like, "Oh, have you heard of Andrew Yang?" Keep it simple and short, and don't focus so much on trying to convert them. Just plant the seed and go from there.
Plant the seed. Talk to them.
This is my first time canvassing, so I'm here to learn.
All right.
My strategy is pretty simple. I'm just going to go make some friends, and I'm going to ask a lot of questions and let people tell me what they think about politics. And then when I see an opportunity to say, hey, Andrew Yang has a solution for that, that's when I'll offer it, and then I'll leave it at that.
Do you also introduce yourself as a politician already?
Just go out there. A lot of people here, a lot of big football fans, so you got to just talk football to them. That will light up their eyes, and then that'll keep them more open-minded, you know? Just got to speak their language.
So I'm excited to be here. I made a website called AndrewYangIntro.com. It has 17 videos about Andrew, so I find the best way to turn people on is just let Andrew speak about it himself. I brought some cards. I'm going to make some friends, ask what they're interested about, talk to them about that, and then hopefully direct them to a website where Andrew can finish it off.
So I think similar to what Lena was saying, just like giving them the seed, planting the seed, and telling them about Andrew. And I think, Levin, you have a really good way of like listening to people and finding out what appeals to them. So I've been learning a lot from Levin, actually.
Oh, thank you. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure we're closer to USC than we are the University of Iowa. Why can I not find any USC fans?
You know, Hawkeyes travel well. We have a lot of spirit. The University of Iowa digs deep in the culture of Hawkeye football, and you know, we're like the professional team of Iowa, basically. So that's Iowa football for you.
Send it back to Iowa. Let's hear a cheer.
just got done yanging the whole tailgate party.
Holiday Bowl.
There's a lot of Iowans we talked to, and I find that, well, in my experience of the day was that like early on, it was great conversations. When it came time that they were already in the midst of their party, it did feel a little bit like they didn't want to talk politics, and I did get a lot more like kind of disinterest, but still there was still people who, was open. And I feel like we had an amazing day.
Yeah, I think we connected with a lot of people and took them from a certain level of Yang awareness down to that next level, which is really critical for getting a good exposure on Andrew Yang.
Yeah.
And I think we affected thousands of people today as they came off the public transportation. They saw the signs that were being held up by the awesome San Diego YangGang. I am so happy that I learned about this event today.
Twitterverse works. Twitterverse connects.
Yeah. Yes. I learned about this on the YangGang hashtag on Twitter. I'm visiting San Diego from Portland, Oregon. I also made a website called AndrewYangIntro.com. I'd love it if you guys took a look at it and shared it on your social media. It's designed for sharing out to your friends, family, and community. There's no advertising. It's all about Andrew and letting his message get out.
And I gotta say, Eric, I really liked tagging along with you because your style is very different than mine and it's so effective. So earlier, like and you pointed out that my vibe currently, as I'm dressed in my shtick, works better for like the younger generation. And I totally see that. It's like it really helps to just be out with others and you just kind of absorb everybody's styles too. Yeah. So I learned a lot today.
With all different types of people that come from all different walks of life with a variety of different approaches.
Yeah, and everybody's doing their own projects. Oh, and I'm gonna be stitching together like a highlight reel on my channel. It's called YangGang Street Team. Yeah, and I'm also working on a website to gamify street canvassing because we passed out so many flyers today. It would be awesome if we could actually look at how many people went to an information site from our flyers.
Track who
right?
Googled Andrew Yang.
So here's what I'm doing with my site is you can sign up as a canvasser and you'll get issued a unique QR code to print on your flyers. When somebody scans it, they go to a Yang site, but it'll also count a point for you. And it'll also location tag their IP. We'll have a weekly leaderboard. Like, if we had that going on today, we could all go back or look at real time. Hey, Eric's got this many points, you got this many points, and where they're getting it,
You're the only one that you see points in Portland for, just to be clear.
That's true. I'll have to bring the team down.
Yeah.
And you said this is your third time out canvassing, and you were so good at it, man.
Thank you very much. Yeah, no, the Portland YangGang is also strong. We're probably 50, 60 people. We've been at the community colleges. We've been doing overpass parties. As I see, like, all across Twitter, it's like all the YangGangs doing these things, and it's got me out. First time I've ever done anything like this.
So Carlo told me you had a couple of conversations with some very strong Trump supporters that you kind of totally, is this true, Carlo? Extinguish is what he said. And I would have loved to have been there. Did you catch any of that on your video?
I did not.
Okay. Well, it would be great to like maybe do a little segment on how you do that. Is there you want to share some tips now?
Well, yeah, I can totally share some tips. Well, Andrew makes it really easy because he goes on Fox News and he polls really well with independents and Republicans. And just like a few days ago, we saw on YouTube, I think it was the Zach and Matt show, posted the Neil Cavuto interview. So it's like you just say, hey.
Is Neil Cavuto a conservative guy, pretty popular?
He's on Fox News, okay. And Andrew had a great interview, 10 minutes, did a wonderful job. And so for the regular viewer of Fox who knows their commentators, you say, Andrew's on there. He's with Neil Cavuto. Tucker Carlson had him on. Obviously, he's not going to be on all the time, but they respect that. And they know he's outside the box. So that's usually what the angle I take with.
So you point them to how he appears on conservative shows and talk shows. Cool. Yeah, and name drop a couple of figureheads in the conservative community, right? Yep. All right.
It's just like Andrew says, there are so many parallels between Andrew Yang's campaign and Trump's. He's a political outsider, not a politician. He is addressing the problems that Americans face. He's just offering a different solution than Trump did. And so by going in and touching the same vein that Trump did, he's addressing those people, but he's also peeling them off of Trump because Trump wasn't able to get them the resolution that they needed. So by just asking people, did you get the resolution you were looking for? No. Are you willing to consider other options? Yes. Well, then this is your guy.
Yeah, I would say, like, in my view, overall, Trump capitalized on people's pain and struggles and didn't produce a real solution. He provided, like, an emotional salve. for the whole
He
thing.
gave them a
But
voice,
Yeah.
you know, and that's the most important thing for people primarily is, you know, address the concerns, give those people a chance to voice their concerns and say, hey, I matter. Like, yeah, immigration, yeah, all these other things, yeah, foreign policy, but I'm starving here in the flyover states. So those people, I mean, obviously they're in some cases worth 1,000 Californians. You know, they matter a lot.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, man, so many Iowans here today. Got to talk to so many. I didn't think I'd have this opportunity. It was magical.
yeah, this was great. I actually, you know, I got a sense of the Iowan vibe, and it really is going to help me when I go out to Yang Week.
I met some really great people today, and even the ones that we had those deep conversations about, you know, they're voting for Trump in the upcoming election. They were a lot more receptive to hearing about Andrew Yang's policies than I thought they would once we started talking about where those things actually overlapped. And I think all the other candidates would be wise to tune into, you know, that message.
And I find that as well. Like, most of the divide is all in our heads. When we actually get out on the field in front of people and have real conversations, most people are pretty open. Yeah.
Up until they've had their fourth beer, and then they don't want to talk politics.
Yeah, it's true. It's a good time
or they
to take
want
a
to talk
break.
politics too much, and you don't want to listen to it.
So-
They tell you their political,
Yeah.
you know, input.
And thank you so much for the channel and the work you're doing and going out for Yang Week. You know, this is going to be a group effort if we're going to get this across the line.
Yeah, it's going to take a lot of grassroots action like this.
Yeah, and what I loved about today is everybody's so independent. Everybody has their style. Like, you were up there on the footbridge. Did you go all the way up to the?
I went as far as the police would let me go.
Okay. Yeah, and our group was fanned out, but yet we were still feeling connected.
Yeah.
So, yeah, a lot of fun, man.
I would say if there's a sporting event in your area and you have a YangGang, getting some of those big $1,000 bills, getting some Yang bucks, some business cards printed out. We had a lot of positive reception. A lot of people high-fiving us through or YangGanging us as they went by. It's a really nice way to spend an evening.
Yeah. And I'll leave with this. I think there are three really important things right now for the campaign. One, Andrew Yang still needs to make it to the polls. All right, there's not a whole lot we can do for that other than just, you know, do the best we can. Two, he needs to get his donations way up because those donations speak very clearly about the size of his campaign when the polls aren't demonstrating that fact for us. And the third thing is when people go out and they see groups like this getting active out in the streets, out in the sporting events, that's brand awareness, and that can't be mitigated by the news. That's a narrative that can't be determined by the news.
Yeah.
So those three things, if those are the key pillars of this campaign, we'll take it as far as it can go.
Yeah.
And that's where, like, paid volunteers can't even do it because they'll ask and you're like, oh, I'm a paid volunteer. But people have asked me, do you work for the campaign? No, we're all volunteers here. And that's a very strong message.
For sure. And I would say, too, if the idea of getting out and doing an event like this is a little much for you, but maybe just going to a YangGang meetup, just meeting other like-minded people, that brings a lot of energy. Just going to that. You don't have to do anything past that. It just raises the spirits of everybody.
Or you can run around in a nice American flag scarf, wave your Yang banner.
Yeah. Thank you, Joe.
All right.
Energetic, poetic and athletic. You know I get down and dirty when it's time to set it. I'm tearing through, clean your scene like ammonia. I drown ya, flood four corners, the perimeter. I wonder, cause earthquakes, bolts and lightning. You couldn't test the one and only Mike Titan. I fool rock, now you hear it, now you know it. The body of the life force came forth just to show it's crucial. Lyrical style ain't what it used to. Microphone check 1, 2. I hit the atmosphere, give MCs visions of comics. Technique hit by force the earth, I hit and bomb it. Immaculate conception with the weapon, emitting mind-boggling forms to mental sections. Beats is cooked, bass burning like it's lava. Throwing shit together more iller than MacGyver. I never tire, spirit live like a wire. I came to let you know fantasies burn like desires. Before I go on this mic, I show pity. Coast to coast, I whirlwind through cities.